Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's Veg 101. Today, we are going to talk about air fryers. And because I'm the only TVA staff member with an air fryer, I've recruited some volunteers to help us out today. So we've got Sweta, who hosts our podcast and is RC volunteer extraordinaire. Hi, Sweta.
Hello.
And we've got Cheryl, who is my sister. And if you have kids and we're at Veg Food Fest last year, you might have seen her in the kids area. And that's her face. Yeah. So, yeah, we all have air fryers. I've had mine for like 3 weeks. Cheryl's had hers for like 3 weeks. So,
Gotten a lot of miles on it though.
I've had mine for a few years, but I probably have used it as much as you two have in the 3 weeks that you've gotten it.
Right. And I feel like you have feelings about that. So
Yeah,
why don't we start with that?
I do have feelings about it. So I have a mini oven and I use it a lot. I almost feel like it's one of my primary cooking methods. Like it's usually on the stovetop or it's that, but I use that, I don't know, just a lot.
What's a mini oven? Can we?
I know. Like
yeah.
the little oven that sits on your countertop.
So like a toaster oven, I guess.
Yeah. Like a toaster oven.
Yeah.
So I cook like tofu in it. I cook sweet potatoes in it. I reheat all my meals in it because I like when things get nice and broiled like on top.
Mm-hmm.
So I use it a lot, and so I got so excited about the air fryer because this idea that you can have fried food without oil. I mean, who doesn't like that idea? And then I got it, and I was like, oh, and I was super excited because I found it at a garage sale. And it was the guy had it for $35 and I talked him down to $25, and so again happy. And then I went to use it and I was really thoroughly not impressed. And I think one of the first things I did was I put some tofu in it, and I was like, this just tastes like out of my mini oven or my toaster oven. I don't taste any difference in here. And then I tried to make sweet potato chips. Like I sliced them really thin, and they just didn't taste all that great. And I tried putting, like a nilaki, the mock meat. You can get it like at the veg fair, and it's like the kind of stuff that King's Cafe serves. So I tried that in it, and I was like, no, I prefer it in my mini oven. And then at that point, I just kind of gave up. And it's so bulky, and I feel like it's really annoying to use because unlike an actual fryer, you have to flip things around in it each time. And sometimes I found it stuck to the basket, and I just found it really labor intensive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I got the feeling it used up a lot of energy because when I turned it on, it just blasted heat. Like it was so hot.
It's really loud.
Yeah,
I don't think it's that loud.
Well, mine is super loud. I'm when you do. So
yeah, you do. Yeah.
But again, I'm comparing it to the mini oven because
which is silent. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or really like most appliances, unlike I guess the ones that do mixing and chopping are pretty noisy, but the ones that do heating are pretty quiet, right? So what right does this one have to make noise? So tell me about your 3 weeks of experience.
Well, I've got a question. You'd said that you didn't like, it sounded like a lot of the utility of it. How did you find the taste? You put the like the King's Cafe faux meat in. Was that different than being in your conventional oven or your?
I preferred it in the oven or the mini oven. And then the tofu was the same in both. Mm-hmm. And then the sweet potato thing, I hadn't tried that in the mini oven, but I imagine that it would have been roughly the same. And so that's my biggest thing with it is like, if you have a mini oven, you don't need this other appliance taking up all that space. I feel like
yeah.
And with a mini oven, I actually don't feel like I have to flip stuff because the grill sits in the middle and the air circulates properly enough that you don't have to. Whereas in the other one, I feel like you kind of have to because the heat just kind of blasts from the top. And yes, there's supposed to be a fan, and I guess there is, but it doesn't cook it as evenly as they say it does.
Mm-hmm.
So what about oil usage? Do you find when you use your mini oven, you're using more oil to get it as crispy?
So I generally don't use oil when I'm cooking, hence the real draw of the air fryer.
Yeah.
But I found that when I went back and I started looking at recipes, I started noticing a trend. Like these are all like things that are already fried. Like people are taking their chicken nuggets and sticking in the air fryer. So it's like they don't have to double fry things. I mean, that's kind of gross. I didn't even realize people did that. I thought when you bought those like pre-fried fries from the grocery store, you just stuck them in the oven.
Put them in the oven. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's so gross. So it's I want an air fryer to make it so I don't have to use oil or use very little oil, because otherwise what's the point? That's a lot of work to put in if I'm still eating all that oil.
See, whereas I'm finding, I mean, to be fair, mine is like 3 years newer and like firsthand too, right? So maybe like the fan and like all of those things have improved, but
mine was barely used. Like the guy's like, he used it once, which I now understand. And all the packaging and everything was in it, so I believed it. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah, like it's I find like I've been making a lot of just like plain veggies or like tofu or things like that, that I just basically like spray with oil, like probably less than a teaspoon, and dump it in and turn it on and see what happens. And yeah, I'm finding that they are tasting like crispy and fried. Like I love doing like my new favorite lunch is just like 2 potatoes chopped and thrown in there, and yeah, it's great. But I don't have like a toaster oven, so yeah, that's the other thing I love is how quick it is. Like I know that toaster ovens are quicker than big ovens or mini ovens, and yeah, the air fryer, I really like how quick it is too, because it's like I made the French fries and it's like 12 minutes and it's done, which in the regular oven, it probably wouldn't even have preheated at that point. Like it's just so slow. So yeah, and yes, it takes up a lot of counter space, but I find I'm using it like twice a day. So it's worth it for me for that counter space. So that counter space was previously being taken up by my KitchenAid, which I use like once a month or something. So now
my
that's
KitchenAid
like
is a status symbol. That's what that is.
Yeah, it's true.
So
yeah,
you
exactly.
Have to leave it on your counter.
Yeah. What about you, Cheryl?
I use it all the time as well, and I find it's faster. I've got 2 kids, so for me, it's all about convenience. I make a ton of, because my daughter loves potatoes, so we make tons of potatoes for her, and it's super easy. And the thing about that is you can make smaller portions. I feel like if I'm gonna turn on the oven, then I want to be making more than just like 1 potato's worth of fries for my daughter. Whereas with this, I can bake her potatoes, and it takes maybe 12 minutes to have like 1 or 2 potatoes worth of French fries that are healthy, and fast and crispy, and she loves them. And I make tofu all the time in there. I just made banana bread in the air fryer right before this. And as you can see, it's been well eaten. To be honest, it's my first time baking in the air fryer. It's very moist in the middle. Some might even say undercooked. But the outside is very crispy. So it's kind of like those meals you have where it's like really crispy on the outside and not so cooked on the inside. But I should say that I am not a cook, and I am a known, Sarah will vouch for my bad culinary skills. So it wouldn't surprise me to have made this error, and I probably would have had the same problem when it came out of the oven. So it's hard to know. I'll have to try it in the oven as well. But yeah, I like it a lot.
Can I embarrass you, Cheryl?
Please do.
So I'm sorry, but you started talking about tofu and the fact that you're not that great a cook, and so now I'm like everything's clicking into place because the one time that I've met her in person, we bonded over our love of tofu. But I didn't think I'd meet anyone that loved tofu as much as I did, but I never until that point seen a person just open up a package of tofu and start going at it. Now, to be fair, it was a smoked tofu, but still that was interesting. So I think you had that and like a baguette or something like that, and that was your lunch.
What I'm saying, and there was no preparation for that, right? It's literally the 2 ingredients and into my mouth. So yeah, I do love my tofu, and I have made several kinds of tofu in the air fryer, but yeah, it's ridiculous the amount of tofu I eat. It really is. If there's a problem with soy, if that ends up being true, I am in deep trouble. I eat a package a day, anyway.
Well, luckily everything points to that it's actually really good for you. So We're both in the clear there. Yeah. But I wonder, can you bake cookies in the air fryer? Because I really like it when the cookies are a little bit crispy on the outside.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like a big chocolate chip cookie in the air fryer would probably be amazing, like just on a piece of parchment paper, you know?
Yeah, but the good thing about that too is you could make smaller batches, because if you're going to put it in the oven, you're going to make 24 cookies, whereas maybe this way you can exercise some portion control if you put it in the air fryer, because you can only fit 6, right? So you're only going to eat 6.
Nah.
Well, you're exercising portion control with your banana bread right now, right?
Right. I definitely did not do all that myself. I swear.
Yeah. So what have you been doing to your tofu? I mean, I know, like, as we've been saying, you don't need to do anything to your tofu and you just like eating it from the package. So clearly you're not one of those people who like doesn't like the taste of tofu, but like,
my favorite thing to do with tofu is I make Asian food. So I freeze my tofu in the container or in the packaging it comes with, keep it in there for about a month. And then I take it out, I thaw it, I press all the liquid out, and this is fast. I don't do any of this, like press it for an hour or any of this. I nuke it in the microwave for 2 minutes to thaw it. And then I press the water out as much as I can. And then I put sesame oil all over the tofu after I like crumple it up to make it kind of have that nice texture. And then I put a bit of a vegetable bouillon cube, some soy sauce, some garlic powder, and then I mush it all up with like the smallest bit, because it's not much sesame oil I'm putting on. And then I chuck that in the air fryer and it comes out really good.
So like crumble, not like squares or anything.
Not squares, but like square sizes. Like if you were cubing tofu, it's like that size. And then I throw it on some noodles or some rice with veggies, and that is my go-to tofu for that. And then I've also breaded my tofu. So I did like a firm tofu, and then I did panko, which I shouldn't have done because it reminded me too much of tempura, which wasn't really what I was going for with that meal. But it was really good. And then I just put it in there. So it was good thing the tofu is delicious no matter how you have it. I really have never had bad tofu. So everything I've made tofu-wise is good. But again, as you just said, my standards for tofu are not very high. So there's that.
Yeah. Yesterday I was making... for dinner, I made a salad, and what did I have with my salad? Oh, hot dogs. So I
hot dogs.
Yeah.
The culinary weirdness of this family.
Yeah, you haven't heard the half of it. Go on.
Anyway, so I wanted to have some like tomatoes in my salad. So I Googled, can you air fry tomatoes? So yeah, I just like chopped them in half and made slow roasted. Like they tasted like the tomatoes I make in the oven slow roasted. So I'll put the oven on like 200 for like 3 hours. But this was in the air fryer for, it was like 10 minutes. And it just made these like tomatoes like dried out a little bit and taste like slow roasted tomatoes. And I chucked my hot dogs in there too. So everything was done at once. The hot dogs did turn out like bubbly. I probably like I say I probably wouldn't do that again, but let's be honest, I'm gonna do that again. But it wasn't like ideal, but the tomatoes were amazing, and that's gonna be like my new go-to salad topping. So
interesting.
You have an animal.
Good.
I do, yeah. She knows when I have a Zoom meeting, and she's
She likes to join in.
Exactly, yeah.
How do you feel about the...
Go ahead.
Oh, how do you feel about the cleanup of the air fryer?
Easy, super easy. I love it. I hate cleaning. It takes me 2 minutes to clean. I love it.
Okay.
And if I know I'm going to use it in like another hour, and if it's just like something I was using like for lunch, I've been doing one of those like Choose Life patties in the air fryer for like 6 minutes, and that makes it cooked. And then I'll be like, well, I'm going to make this for dinner, so I won't even clean it out. I'll just wait until dinner and clean it out after that. So, which is even what they say in the air fryer cookbook. They're like, you don't need to clean it after every meal. So
really? I clean it after every meal. Maybe messy things, but I don't know.
I feel like we get that option more because we're vegan. Because like if you cook meat in the basket,
exactly, yeah,
you have to worry about that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So the way that, because I think different air fryers have different structures. So mine is a gigantic glass bowl, and then there's like a metal dish thing in it. Sorry, not metal, like a basket in it that kind of like sits atop that glass bowl. And I find like if I'm making liquidy things, there was something else that I did make hold on, I'm gonna come back to that. It was kind of messy, and it seeped through that metal mesh that it was baking on, and so I did find like I had to clean it. But I don't know, for some reason with the mini oven, I don't feel like I have to clean it each time. With the air fryer, I feel like I have to clean it each time. Maybe it's just a mindset thing, or maybe it's because there's a giant glass bowl, so it's obvious that like, hey, there's foods in there. Whereas the mini oven, I clean the grate every once in a while, but like the underneath part, that doesn't get cleaned very often.
Yeah.
But nothing comes in contact with it. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mine is, I've got the Corsi air fryer, and it's like a drawer that you pull out that's metal, and then there's like a metal like grated bowl inside it that, or like, what is it? It's not a bowl, it's like a, I don't know, but yeah, that's where the frying thing. Yeah, basket's the word I was looking for. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I've seen that variety, but yeah, mine is different. And then the lid like goes on top, and then the heat comes from the top, and the fan like supposedly
so when
blows it
you
around.
so if you want to take stuff out to shake it, you have to then take it all apart.
I have to pull off the lid, yes.
Yeah.
And then so that would mean or that explains, I suppose, part of my irritation versus one where you just kind of slide it out.
Exactly, because mine's a drawer, so I just sort of pull it out and give it a shake and then push it back in, and it just turns right back on. So
but I am feeling a little bit more hopeful. Maybe, if I just use like a little bit of oil, it seems like I can make things that taste good. And the idea of baking in it seems a little bit interesting. Although some of the points that you mentioned, I don't have to contend with because I'm using the mini oven. I mean, if I do this ridiculous thing that you suggested where I only make 6 cookies, I'll just use the mini oven.
You could make many batches of 6 cookies.
Yeah.
Then they're always warm, so then you always have warm cookies, so you eat 6 and then you're like, all right, now I want 6 more, and then you make 6 more.
Good idea.
I like my chocolate chips to be like a little bit harder, so I don't like them warm. I prefer them to cool down a little bit.
Even the banana bread came out of the oven really crispy. Like the top part is very crispy. It's just the inside. It's very raw. Kind of. I mean, obviously it's not stopping me from eating it. So
it's also banana, right? So it's gonna be like a soggy bread. I don't know. Yeah.
That's a great description.
Thank you. Yeah.
Soggy bread.
Yeah.
Share the recipe in the comments.
I know this is a bit off topic, but have you baked anything in the Instapot?
No, I haven't. Yeah, I've just done like soups and curries and stews and all those kinds of things.
Because that idea seems really interesting, like baking in something that is so moist or seems to like contain and hold on to moisture. Like, would you get a soggy banana bread, or would you just get a really moist one, or what would that turn out like?
I do want to make a lasagna in the Instant Pot, but I mean, that's baking, but not really. So
pancakes in the Instant Pot?
You can. I saw a recipe for air fryer pancakes, which looked really interesting. It's basically like you put a piece of parchment down, you pour the pancake batter on, you put a piece of parchment down, you pour the pancake batter on. So you make like a whole stack in the air fryer, and then you put it in for like 4 minutes, and you've got like a whole stack that's ready right away. It was like this random Australian guy that was singing songs about the air fryer. That's vegan.
That's one of those things that you share the link of it. Although,
yes. I don't even know. It's like, when you're just scrolling through Instagram and it starts showing you things it thinks you'll like. It was like this guy singing about the air fryer.
Makes you wonder what you're searching for. If that's
I know, right?
This other thing that I made, that was the thing that made a mess of it, was it was cauliflower and it was battered. It was like a tahini batter. Okay, so it already sounds messy. And the cauliflower was in like smaller pieces. The recipe originally said to make it in a dehydrator, and I'm like, no, let's do this in the air fryer. And so I ended up dipping it in the batter, and I made it. And it tasted very good, but it all just like stuck. And when I did it in the dehydrator, it was like the same thing. It was just very messy. The textures were a little bit different between the air fryer and the dehydrator, but very messy. It was from that website, Olives for Dinner. I'm pretty sure that's it. She makes like really or more complex recipes and really pretty photography.
Okay.
It sounds
Interesting.
good. You didn't have a great ending for that.
Oh,
but
it did taste very good, but I'd never
Yeah.
make it again because it was just a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to try making spring rolls, and I've bought rice paper. I just don't have any like stuffing for the spring rolls right now. So
I made
yeah.
dumplings.
Ooh, yes.
Good. Yeah, I put some just a little bit of the sesame oil again on it, and that was really good.
You probably wouldn't even need to, because I made pierogies, and like they were already boiled. It's just I air fried them to reheat them, and they were so yummy. Yeah, my new game is just whatever I'm making for dinner, I just chuck it in the air fryer instead of like cooking it a different way and see what happens. So
I do now. Everything is air fryer.
Yeah, hot dogs yesterday. So here we go. Clearly, like
And
your both enthusiasm on it is selling me. And
there we go.
I'm glad I didn't drop it off at Valley Village. Although I'm an appliance hoarder, I have too many appliances for this little apartment.
Yeah.
Next talk is gonna be on ice cream machines and the ones that use ice versus the ones that use bowls.
You have more than one ice cream machine.
I have had. I've gone through several.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually used my ice cream maker more than I've used the air fryer. Significantly more.
I think I've probably used my air fryer more in the last 3 weeks than I've used my Instant Pot since I got it a year ago. And I do use my Instant Pot quite a bit. It's just that like all summer I don't want like soup and like curries and stuff. So it's just that like I find this more useful, I guess. We'll see how I feel in 2 months, but right now it's still got its newness factor. So
but it's nice that it's not become one of those appliances that you buy, you use twice, and then you just kind of discard.
Yeah.
I like how fast everything is. I think that's a big one for me. My kids like a lot of you were mentioning like the fake meat kind of King's Cafe. My kids like the Gardines a lot, and fish fillets, the no fish fillets, and those in the air fryer are just they're crispy. They're so good. So we make a lot of those for her. We've done the Eve's nuggets in there. And I find I like it better than in the oven. I think it's a more even cook, at least for mine, which I like. And I don't really flip it. I know I should. I can't be bothered. And it turns out great.
Do you both have the same one?
Yes.
Made me get that one, and it's a good one. So
I don't actually like most of Gardein stuff, but the fish fillet is one that I do like. So maybe the next time I buy it, I'll stick it in the air fryer and see what happens.
Yeah. I just bought some soy curls yesterday, so I'm trying to think of what I can make in the air fryer with the soy curls. So so it's going to be like they're dehydrated. I'm going to rehydrate them, and then I'm going to
fry them up. Yeah. See, that's the one thing about the air fryer. Like when it comes to battered stuff, because that's like one of the classic techniques of frying, right? You batter something and then you throw it into the oil. I wish there was a way to do that.
Well, I made portobello mushrooms with batter, and then I put it in the air fryer, and that was good.
But didn't it just drip everywhere?
No, I mean, yes, it was messy, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't like that bad. You can put parchment paper down, but I didn't. So I just did like flaxseed with water and some soy milk. And then I put some panko on top with a little bit of flour and some spices, and then plopped it on there. And that one I did flip, and it turned out good. So
okay, see, I feel like that might be the secret as well, putting the panko on top, because I found that when I did that thing with the cauliflower, it just stuck so much. And so I will try that. These are good tips. Where's my notepad and pen?
I made like an eggplant that I basically battered in nooch. It was just like a whole bunch of spices and nooch, but by the time it was done, it looked like it was battered. And I actually didn't like it because the eggplant just got soft and soggy, because that's what eggplant does. And I don't know what I was expecting, but it was just one of those like, I'm going to see what happens. So.
But then you think like eggplant parmesan, and that's good. Vegan version of that, and whether that would be better in the air fryer, better in the, because I would think I would do that.
I think there is a recipe for eggplant parmesan in this, but like, I looked at it and I was like, that's too much work. I'm not going to make
that. Down to you, it does.
Tamari roasted eggplants. Oh no, that's not it. But yeah, so
Have you tried anything from that book?
Just the French fries, which, so basically no. But the eggplants, the egg rolls, I'm desperate. Oh no, I did. I made the tofu from here. She has this like tofu that she compares to, like, when you get crispy tofu from a Thai restaurant. And it was good, but I don't think it was comparable to the tofu you get when you order like crispy tofu from a Thai restaurant. But
you need to freeze it first. That's the trick to when I make like Asian dishes. You freeze it first, and that just makes the consistency so good.
Maybe I will try that. I've got 2 packs of tofu in the fridge right now, so. But I've been making roasted chickpeas, and roasted chickpeas are one thing I've found that, like, in the oven, I can never do them like well. So I'll roast them and they'll be good once they're warm, and then once they cool down in 5 minutes, they're soggy again. And these ones are just crispy all the way through, and they taste like the roasted chickpeas you get like in a bag, except they don't have any of those like added palm oil and trans oil and all those things. So it's really good.
Amazing.
Yeah. I've made it twice now. I made it yesterday and I brought it to the office and shared with Barbie, so I didn't eat the whole can of chickpeas, and it was good.
So good.
Yeah.
I wonder. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I haven't had much luck doing the chickpeas in the oven, because I feel like just in that time between when they're almost cooked and they're gonna be perfect, I end up going just a little bit further and just burning them.
Yeah.
But I've been able to do it in the dehydrator, and that has worked.
Yeah, dehydrators I think are awesome too, but yeah, I don't have any space for another appliance, so.
I wonder if popcorn would work in the air fryer.
That was one of the singing videos. The singing guy talked about popcorn. He chucked a whole kernel of corn in there and it turned into popcorn.
Yeah, so I wonder if you could make popcorn in there, because the hot air. Oh no, that's what I'm making today.
You might need to put like a pie plate or something down because of the holes. They're too small for kernels, but
oh yeah.
I don't know. Be careful. Popcorn burns really easily.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
And have someone fanning your fire alarm while you're experimenting with this, because
okay, maybe not then.
Or bring it outside. It's still mild enough, and then try it out, because I don't know.
Yeah, maybe I won't do that. That sounds scary.
I'm a big fan of popcorn. I know my popcorn. I eat popcorn every day. Fun fact.
How do you make it?
I just make it in the air popper, but I do what I call double popping it. So it happened by mistake. One time I started up the air popper, and then for some reason I stopped, and then I went and did something, and then a couple hours later I finished popping it. I was like, hey, this is so much better, so much crunchier. And so now I always do it like that.
So you chuck it back in after it's popped?
No, so I turn on the machine, and then when I hear the first pop, I turn it off.
Oh.
And then you have to wait for it to cool down. So like half hour-ish. And then I turn it back on again, and then I pop it in, and then it's nice and crunchy.
Try that. Yeah. We're learning so much today.
I know. What's your favorite topping?
I keep it simple. So if I'm not eating oil, since I eat it every day, no oil is probably a good idea. I just put what is it called? Soy sauce on it. Because that's like, it's liquid, so it'll stick to the popcorn, and I just have it in like a little push bottle. And then if I am eating oil, then again, I just like just plain oil, or like Earth Balance and salt.
Yeah.
But if I'm feeling fancier, I'll put, like when you get sun-dried tomatoes and there's the oil in that, so I'll use that oil. Ooh. Or I'll use like chili oil. And then I have the whirly pop as well. Do you know what that is? That's so, like movie theaters, the kind of popcorn machine they have. This is like the hand cranked version that you do on your stovetop. And so if I'm using oil, I'll a lot of times do it in that, and that has like a slightly different flavor. That one I don't double pop. That's my popcorn information.
That is good to know. Delicious.
Yeah. One thing I found when I was doing the kale chips, which I guess would be similar to popcorn in the air fryer, was they're really light, and so the fan makes them blow around. So as soon as they were ready, they started blowing around, and when I took the basket out, there were some like stuck to the blower at the top, so I had to pull them out. So yeah, they suggest to like put like a grid, like a steamer basket bottom or something on top of the kale chips when you put them in, so that they have a weight on them. But yeah, I'm lazy and I just like pull it out as soon as I hear them start flying around in there. So
I'm surprised. Yeah, again, your air fryer design is a little bit different than mine, because mine, the element is there, so if it flew up, it would like go into the element area.
Yeah.
I think ours is like that too. I think ours is an element right at the top too.
It is, but you can easily pull it out, right? So like when I hear them start to like, I hear like crunching noises, I like pull it out really quick and I take out the done ones. So yeah, that's what I had for lunch today, was kale chips. So So yeah, do we have any final thoughts? Air fryer yay, air fryer nay?
Yay.
Air fryer, you have sold me ish on it. So I'm gonna say this, because I don't feel like it's thumbs down. I don't feel like it's quite there. I feel like it's like there.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we didn't get any questions in the chat, I don't think. So we are, oh, somebody did ask how it was different than a convection oven, and we totally didn't talk about that. So basically it's smaller, so it's more powerful in like a little area, I guess, because a convection oven, like Cheryl, your oven is a convection oven where it does have a fan and it blows the air around, but it's in a much larger space. So A, it takes up more energy, and B, it heats less evenly, I guess. So yeah, that's sort of how it's different from what I've read on the internet in my quick Google search before this this talk. So yeah, thanks for watching Air Fryer Basics with us. And if you have any suggestions for topics for the future, let us know in the comments. But I think that we need to do, like Cheryl and Sweta talk about, like tofu. There we go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yummy tofu.
Yeah. Sounds good. So thanks for coming, you two.
Thank you.
Thank you for having
us.
us.
Have a good weekend, everybody. Happy Friday.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.